You know that kind of game that makes you forget the time, lose sleep, and still think every cent was worth it? That's what we're talking about today. These are titles that deliver everything, story, gameplay, and emotion without wasting a single second of your time. Games that truly grip you, reward every minute, and remind you why you love to play. So get comfortable because this list is packed. These are 22 single-player games that are absolutely worth paying full price for. Before we begin, if you want to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We're close to hitting 50,000 subs, and every new person who joins helps keep this project alive and brings even more lists, discoveries, and amazing games your way. So let's go together on this one. No more delays, let's get started. Devil May Cry 5 is the definition of stylish action pushed to the limit. The story follows a new demonic invasion threatening humanity, bringing heroes and villains together in battles that feel choreographed. Each character brings a different perspective, and the plot weaves drama and humor with rare natural flow. The pacing is intense, keeping excitement alive even in the breaks between fights, always delivering scenes that feel ripped straight from a wild action movie. The combat system is the real spectacle. It's fast, technical, and designed to reward precision and creativity. Mixing attacks, weapons, and styles in real time creates a flow that few games can match. The thrill comes from mastering the mechanics until every fight feels like a controlled dance of chaos and destruction. The variety of playable characters and their unique abilities keeps battles fresh and exhilarating, no matter how many hours you've played. Visually, it's pure eye candy. The RE engine delivers detailed environments and lighting effects that enhance every strike and explosion. Crumbling cities, demonic temples, and grotesque creatures form a setting that balances the horrific with the beautiful. Every battle feels like a climax, and the art direction manages to turn even the darkest areas into something worth admiring. It's a game that grips both through mechanics and aesthetics. What makes Devil May Cry 5 so addictive is the feeling of mastery. With each enemy defeated, with every flawless combo, comes that pure satisfaction of knowing the skill was yours. It's a roller coaster of intensity, charisma, and total control that captures everything the series has always done best and raises the bar even higher. Pentiment proves that narrative can be an art form. Set in 16th century Bavaria, it places you in the role of an artist living among monks, nobles, and peasants amid cultural and religious conflict. When a murder shakes the monastery where he works, you're forced to investigate, diving into a story full of moral ambiguity and complex choices. It's a tale about faith, knowledge, and the power of words, told with impressive authenticity. The gameplay is simple yet deeply engaging. Every choice carries consequences that stretch across years, and there's no turning back. Conversations are the battlefield, and reading the tone correctly can completely alter the direction of the investigation. The absence of physical combat makes room for subtler tension focused on politics, secrets, and class struggles. It turns dialogue itself into something as intense as a duel. The art is what breathes life into the experience. Its visual style is inspired by medieval manuscripts and Renaissance illuminations, with soft colors and strokes that mimic historical books. Each scene looks like a living painting, and even the fonts change depending on the character's origin and education. It's a small detail, but one that deepens immersion and reinforces historical authenticity. The impact of Pentiment lies in its ability to make you think. It offers no easy answers or perfect endings. Each decision carries weight, and consequences are often painful or unfair, just like real life. It's the kind of game that echoes long after the credits roll, showing that great stories don't need epic battles, just humanity. Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty is where the chaos of Night City finally finds redemption. The expansion takes you to Dogtown, a zone ruled by mercenaries and spies where trust is rare. The story revolves around political conspiracies and infiltration missions, mixing espionage, drama, and high-stakes action. It's a more mature, restrained, yet human narrative, exploring themes like loyalty, sacrifice, and redemption in a world where everything is disposable. Gameplay evolves in a remarkable way. The progression system has been overhauled, and abilities now make a real difference in how you tackle missions. Combat is more tactical and fluid, with intense gunfights, strategic hacking, and moments that feel lifted from a futuristic spy thriller. Open missions and multiple routes to objectives ensure real freedom, making each decision a gamble between the right choice and the inevitable one. Dogtown's setting is a spectacle in itself. Packed streets, abandoned towers, black markets, and militarized zones create a brutal contrast with Night City's decaying luxury. The density of detail is striking. Every corner has a story. Every face bears scars of an unforgiving past. This atmosphere makes you feel the weight of choices and the true cost of survival in a world that never sleeps. What makes Phantom Liberty essential is its sense of redemption, both for the game and for the player. It's the definitive version of Cyberpunk 2077, where story, gameplay, and setting finally come together seamlessly. A dark, intense, mature chapter that turns past mistakes into a new standard for the future. Ghost of Tsushima is a love letter to feudal Japan and one of the most cinematic games ever made. The story follows a samurai torn between honor and survival as he fights to liberate his land from Mongol invasion. This moral dilemma permeates the entire journey, showing the weight of abandoning tradition for something greater. The narrative is rich with emotion, exploring sacrifice, duty, and identity in both poetic and brutal ways. Combat is the beating heart of the experience. Katana duels are precise and intense, demanding posture reading and reflex mastery. Every strike carries weight, and boss battles feel like true duels of respect and skill. The introduction of stealth adds another strategic layer, letting you approach enemies with cunning and subtlety. This balance of action and patience keeps the rhythm constant and rewarding. The open world is one of the most beautiful ever created. Golden fields, bamboo forests, and landscapes blanketed in falling petals create vistas that feel like living paintings. Each location has purpose and history, and even the wind serves as your guide, replacing mini-maps with something organic. This design decision strengthens immersion, turning exploration into a ritual almost spiritual. What makes Ghost of Tsushima unforgettable is the harmony between gameplay, art, and narrative. It's not just a game about war, but about the price of changing who you are to protect what you love. With every battle won and every loss endured, the weight of the journey grows, and when it ends, it feels like you've lived a legend. Hades is the kind of game that catches you off guard. You start thinking it's just about fighting and dying over and over, but soon you're drawn into a story about family, persistence, and self-discovery. Zagreus, son of Hades, is tired of being trapped in the underworld and decides to escape, facing gods, monsters, and the consequences of his choices. But the game does something rare. It turns every defeat into a new piece of the story, making failure part of the journey. The action is fast, but it's not just about reflexes, it's rhythm, it's strategy. Each weapon completely changes the way you play, and the gods' powers make every run feel like a brand new game. Some attempts flow perfectly, making you feel unstoppable, while others fall apart, but it's still impossible to quit. The progression system gives you reasons to try again and again until the impossible starts to feel within reach. The visuals are pure charm. The underworld feels alive, full of color and personality, with gods that look like they walked out of a modern painting, yet speak like old acquaintances. The art direction turns every area into a spectacle, and the details from shadows to character gestures make the world pulse with its own energy. But Hades' true strength is emotional. It's about failing, pushing forward, and keeping faith, delivered with a lightness few games achieve. Before you know it, you're not playing just to win, but to see what else that world has to reveal. It's a story about starting over, and maybe that's why it's so easy to lose hours to it. The Witcher 3 is more than an RPG. It's a journey that makes you forget time itself. Yes, the world is vast, but what truly impresses is how alive it feels. Every village, ruin, and forest carries its own stories, and none of them are wasted. Even side quests have depth, emotion, and consequences that make you stop and think before choosing. Combat blends brutality with elegance. Swords, spells, and potions create a layered system where preparation is everything. It's not just about charging in, it's about knowing your enemy, bringing the right tools, and using the environment to your advantage. Each fight carries weight, and when a monster finally falls, the relief feels like you've battled for something that truly mattered. The visuals remain stunning, even years later. Open fields, sudden storms, and bustling cities create a fantasy world that feels like it breathes. Expressive faces, environmental details, and artistic direction give the impression of something tangible, as if you could feel the wind as you ride through Velen or Novigrad. What makes The Witcher 3 unforgettable is the humanity within everything. There are no perfect heroes, only people struggling to survive in a cruel world. And that honesty is what keeps you hooked, because beyond monsters and spells, what really matters are choices and what they say about who you are. Days Gone is the kind of game that slowly grows until it completely hooks you. At first, it feels like just another post-apocalyptic world, but soon you realize there's far more beneath the surface. The story follows a man trying to survive in chaos after humanity has collapsed. Between memories of the past and fragile new alliances, the game builds a narrative about loss, loyalty, and the instinct to keep going even when everything is against you. Gameplay is where it shines. The motorcycle is your best companion and needs care, fuel, repairs, and upgrades become part of daily life. Combat shifts between stealth and open firefights, with intense shootouts and moments of pure desperation when hordes appear. And when they do, it's a spectacle. Watching hundreds of infected rush at you never stops being jaw-dropping. The map is vast and full of character. Dense forests, destroyed towns, and endless highways create a world that changes mood with the weather. At night, danger doubles. During the day, you feel bolder to explore. This balance between calm and chaos gives the game an addictive rhythm, always pulling you toward just one more mission before turning off the console. What makes Days Gone work is its sense of progression. Each weapon upgrade, each new area unlocked feels like rebuilding something out of the ruins. It's a game that mixes action, survival, and emotion in a way that makes you want to come back for just one more ride, and then another and another. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 arrives as one of the most promising sequels for fans of realistic, detail-rich RPGs. The story picks up shortly after the first game, keeping the same tone of personal growth, politics, and revenge. Here, it's not about magic or fantasy, it's the raw harshness of the Middle Ages, with civil wars, betrayals, and an unforgiving social system. Every dialogue matters, and every choice can completely reshape your path. Combat is the highlight. Forget flashy moves, it's all technical and tactical. You need to learn the rhythm of swords, the weight of armor, and the importance of preparation before any fight. A single mistake can be costly, making each victory feel genuinely earned. It's the kind of game that punishes distraction but rewards patience and focus. The world is absurdly detailed. Villages, forests, and castles are recreated with astonishing realism, and even NPCs follow daily routines and natural day-night cycles. Hunting, eating, sleeping, and maintaining your reputation are all essential. That realism turns simple survival into something immersive and authentic. The charm of Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 lies in making every small achievement feel significant. Winning a duel, learning to read, or earning a noble's respect carries more weight than slaying a dragon in any other RPG. It's a game that demands dedication, but when everything clicks, the sense of progress is so real, you'll want to keep exploring endlessly. Batman: Arkham Knight makes you feel the weight and responsibility of truly being Batman. The story closes the trilogy in style, with Gotham City in full chaos, shrouded in fear and manipulation. Threats come from every side, forcing the Dark Knight to face not only his enemies, but also his own limits. The narrative blends action, drama, and psychological tension, always leaving you with the sense that something monumental is about to unfold. The gameplay is addictive. The hand-to-hand combat system is fluid and brutal, full of variations and possibilities. Switching between quick strikes, counters, and gadgets never gets old. The Batmobile, divisive at first, proves essential, bringing missions, chases, and battles packed with adrenaline. The mix of action and stealth keeps the pace intense from start to finish. Gotham itself feels like the true character. Its alleys, skyscrapers, and constant rain create an atmosphere that's both haunting and alive. The city's design reinforces the sense of always being one step behind a greater plot. Every corner hides something: a Riddler trap, a lurking enemy, or a secret waiting to be uncovered. What makes Arkham Knight so engaging is how it ties everything the series built into one conclusion. Combat, story, and atmosphere come together seamlessly, delivering a finale worthy of one of gaming's greatest superhero sagas. And when the credits roll, you're left with the urge to don the cowl just one more time. The Bioshock series is one of the most iconic in gaming, not just for its settings, but for the way it blends philosophy, narrative, and first-person action. Each game introduces a new world and a new moral dilemma, always putting you in situations where power and ideology collide. Whether in the depths of Rapture or the skies of Columbia, the central question remains: what happens when man tries to play God? Gameplay strikes a balance between action and strategy. Traditional weapons share space with plasmids and vigors, granting powers like lightning, fire, or mind control. This mix creates dynamic, unpredictable combat where quick thinking is key. Exploration is equally rewarding, with audio logs, documents, and secrets expanding your understanding of each world. The atmosphere is the franchise's crown jewel. Rapture's flooded halls and decaying beauty remain unforgettable, while Columbia dazzles with light and grandeur, hiding horrors behind its perfect facade. In both worlds, the contrast between beauty and cruelty keeps you hooked, pushing you to uncover what really went wrong. What keeps Bioshock relevant today is how it makes you think while you play. It's not just about shooting or surviving, it's about grasping the message hidden in the chaos. The series combines action, mystery, and reflection in a way few others have managed, leaving a mark that goes far beyond the screen. Dead Space Remake is the triumphant return of one of the most terrifying games ever made. The story takes place aboard the USG Ishimura, where an engineer is sent to fix what seems like a routine malfunction, only to find something far darker. The narrative is direct, claustrophobic, and unrelenting, keeping you on edge as if something could leap from the shadows at any moment. Even veterans of the original will be surprised by the new pacing and subtle story changes. Gameplay is a masterclass in updating a classic without losing its soul. The dismemberment system remains at the heart of combat, with enemy physics making every encounter tense and strategic. Weapons feel weighty, sounds are bone-chilling, and silence itself becomes a weapon against you. More fluid movement and expanded exploration features make it modern while staying faithful. The atmosphere is where the remake truly shines. Ishimura's corridors are recreated with staggering detail, flickering lights, dense fog, and distant noises build a constant state of dread. The sound design is so sharp you'll question if that noise came from the game or your own room. It's terror without cheap jump scares, because fear lingers in every corner. What makes Dead Space Remake indispensable is how it keeps you uncomfortable the entire time and you enjoy it. It's the kind of horror that makes your heart race, but keeps you desperate to see what comes next. A respectful, intense recreation that proves how great the original was and how this version makes it even better. Elden Ring is the kind of game that feels endless, with every minute worth savoring. The story places you in a shattered world of mystery, corrupted kingdoms, and cryptic figures who reveal little of their intent. Nothing is handed to you, each piece of lore is uncovered through exploration, making progress feel all the more rewarding. It's a tale of ambition, ruin, and power told with the silence and grandeur only From Software can craft. Combat is pure freedom. You choose how to face the world as a brute warrior, a spellcaster, an archer, or a mix of all. Every enemy is a test of patience and precision, and boss fights become unforgettable milestones. The open world structure completely reshapes the series' formula. You're never forced down one path, free to explore and grow on your own terms. The world itself is breathtaking. Golden plains, shadowed forests, and towering castles connect seamlessly, with no loading screens breaking the immersion. Every corner hides secrets, unique enemies, and silent stories waiting to be found. The scale and freedom are staggering, and the fact that every discovery feels meaningful keeps the momentum alive. What makes Elden Ring extraordinary is the balance of challenge and reward. It knocks you down, frustrates you, forces you to learn, but victory feels indescribable. It's the kind of game you finish and can't stop thinking about for days. A true landmark proving games can still be vast, mysterious, and endlessly rewarding. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of those games that makes you forget the real world for hours. The story puts you in the boots of an outlaw trying to survive as the Wild West fades into history. It's packed with intense moments, twists, and unforgettable dialogue showing the cost of choices and the burden of life on the run. Every mission has weight, building real connections with characters, making the later unraveling even more impactful. Gameplay is dense but deeply rewarding. Combat is grounded, with guns that feel heavy, recoil that matters, and that sharp crack of a rifle you can almost feel. The attention to detail is staggering, from tending your horse to keeping your character fed and healthy. Enemies' AI and civilians' behavior keep the world unpredictable. No two missions feel alike, and even simple travel often leads to unexpected events. The open world is among the best ever crafted. From snowy peaks to suffocating swamps, every environment feels alive. Animals hunt, townsfolk gossip about events that reshape the world, and each settlement has its own rhythm. It's a game where you pause the main story just to explore, yet still feel like you're living part of its narrative. What makes Red Dead Redemption 2 unforgettable is its humanity. It's not just about shootouts and chases, but loyalty, redemption, and the unstoppable march of time. It makes you laugh, tense, and genuinely emotional. Few games mix all that so naturally, and that's why it remains a benchmark to this day. Resident Evil 4 Remake is the perfect example of how to rebuild a classic without losing its essence. The story follows Leon on a mission to rescue the president's daughter from a remote European village, only to uncover something far more sinister. The narrative is straightforward yet tense, balancing action and horror seamlessly. Even longtime fans will find new surprises and fresh moments around every corner. Combat has been fully modernized. Movement is smoother and aiming is sharper and more intense. The parry mechanic adds a new layer of strategy, turning each encounter into a nerve-wracking duel. Inventory management remains central, and yes, organizing that briefcase is still as satisfying as ever. The environments are stunningly rebuilt. The village, the castle, and the underground horrors all feel more threatening, rendered with incredible detail. Lighting and sound design create a suffocating atmosphere where even silence feels dangerous. Every element is crafted to keep tension high without breaking your drive to push forward. What makes Resident Evil 4 Remake so addictive is its flawless balance of action and horror. It doesn't try to reinvent everything, it simply perfects what already worked. Each encounter, each scare delivers that rush of fear and adrenaline that defines survival horror at its best. It's the kind of game you finish and immediately want to play again and again. Hollow Knight, Silksong isn't trying to simply repeat the original success, it wants to expand everything. The story follows a new protagonist in a completely different kingdom, packed with enemies, traps, and secrets hidden in every corner. The narrative remains subtle, told through the environment, symbols, and small gestures, but the sense of mystery is even stronger. The world feels more alive, and every new area hides surprises that make you want to explore just a little more before stopping. Gameplay keeps the rock-solid foundation of the first game, but now everything is faster and smoother. Movement is agile, attacks are precise, and the healing system has new options that demand constant attention. Combat is still a test of reflex and patience, where every enemy is a lesson that teaches something new. It's the kind of game that punishes mistakes, but rewards persistence with a real sense of progress. The visuals are simply stunning. Every area looks like a living painting, full of vibrant colors and silky animations. The new regions have identities of their own, from suspended cities to luminous temples, and all of them seem to tell a story. The soundtrack and sound effects complete the immersion, reinforcing the mood of isolation and discovery. Even without many words, the game conveys emotion at every step. What makes Hollow Knight Silksong so anticipated is how it blends challenge with curiosity. It's impossible to pass a new enemy or a locked door without wanting to know what's next. It doesn't hand out easy answers, and that's exactly what makes it so addictive. It's the kind of game that hooks you through mystery and the satisfaction of unraveling it yourself. Stardew Valley is the opposite of games that bet on action and chaos. It wins you over with calm. You inherit a rundown farm and have to rebuild it from scratch, but what seems simple becomes one of the most addictive experiences around. Between planting, fishing, mining, and chatting with locals, the game creates its own rhythm, where each day is a small victory. And the strangest part is how, without noticing, you grow attached to the routine and the people in that place. The gameplay is a mix of planning and relaxation. The day and season cycle makes everything feel natural. Plant at the right time, harvest, care for animals, and expand your farm. The mines and special events add variety, breaking the routine whenever you want something different. It's the kind of game you boot up just for a few minutes and end up playing for hours, always finding something new to do. The town is full of life, with charming characters and simple but captivating stories. Every resident has a personality, preferences, and personal struggles, turning interactions into an essential part of the journey. Seasonal festivals and small events create a rare sense of community in games. It's a world that truly follows its own time, and you become part of it. The magic of Stardew Valley lies in how it turns everyday tasks into something rewarding. There's no rush, no urgency, just steady progress. It's a game about building, caring, and watching things grow, both the farm and your relationships. And maybe that's why it's so addictive, because in the end, it gives you what many games forget to offer: peace. The Stanley Parable is one of the most unusual games you'll find. It starts simply. You're Stanley, an office worker who suddenly realizes everyone has vanished. From there, the narrator begins to guide or provoke your choices, and that's where the game truly shines. Every decision, however small, completely changes the course of the story, and the best part is there's no right path. The game is a playful jab at the very concept of freedom in video games. Gameplay is essentially walking and choosing. It sounds minimal, but what sustains it is the writing and your interaction with the narrator. He comments on everything you do, sometimes trying to persuade you, sometimes mocking your choices. It's a game that makes you laugh, think, and above all, question what it really means to have control. It breaks the fourth wall effortlessly, making you feel part of a truly singular experience. The simple graphics serve the purpose perfectly. White hallways, meeting rooms, and repetitive spaces reinforce the tone of absurdity and routine, while the narrator's dry British humor gives personality to every second. The contrast between the ordinary look and the increasingly bizarre situations creates an irresistible comedic effect. What makes the Stanley Parable so memorable is how it turns something so basic into something unforgettable. It's not about winning, losing, or saving the world, it's about toying with expectations. Every ending is a surprise, and each new attempt proves the game always has something different up its sleeve. It's short but impossible to forget. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach promises to pick up exactly where the first game left off, with an even stronger focus on human connection and the weight of loneliness. The story returns to a world isolated by mysterious phenomena where the boundary between life and death has blurred. Everything is wrapped in mystery, and the game seems intent on digging deeper into the consequences of what came before, showing that rebuilding the world may cost more than anyone imagined. Gameplay follows the series' distinctive style, centered on traversal and planning. Carrying cargo, reading terrain, dealing with enemies, and braving the weather are still at the core. But new tools, vehicles, and ways to interact promise more momentum and variety. It doesn't lean on constant action, it pulls you in through the sense of purpose in each step you take. The visuals remain astonishing. Desolate landscapes, futuristic ruins, and storms that feel alive create a unique atmosphere. Physics and weather effects give weight to every journey, and the world design makes you feel small before something immense. It's a blend of sci-fi, melancholy, and beauty, all delivered with an absurd technical polish. What keeps Death Stranding 2 so intriguing is the mystery surrounding everything. No other game feels this strange and yet this human. It's about connection, about moving forward even without fully understanding the path. And that's what makes so many people eager to see how far this story will go this time. Katana Zero starts at full throttle and never slows down. You control a professional assassin wielding a katana who can slow time, turning each stage into a bloody puzzle. The story seems simple at first, but quickly dives into a plot filled with secrets, hallucinations, and twists. The game toys with the line between reality and delusion, leaving you constantly unsure of what's real and what isn't. The gameplay is one of its most addictive strengths. Every level demands precision, quick reflexes, and careful reading of the environment. A single mistake means death, but restarts are instant, keeping the pace unbroken. Slowing time lets you plan each move, and pulling off a perfect execution at the end is absurdly satisfying. It's the kind of game you fail 20 times but keep trying because you know the next attempt will land. The pixel art look is pure style. Neon-soaked aesthetics, sharp contrasts, and a pulsing soundtrack create an atmosphere that feels like noir, fused with future shock. Smooth, impactful animations and meticulous art direction make every strike look like part of a choreography. The game understands the power of visuals and uses them to amplify both action and narrative chaos. What makes Katana Zero so striking is its balance between violence and depth. Behind the blood and blade is a broken character trying to piece together his past. That mix of frantic action with quiet moments of reflection keeps you hooked to the end. It's short, sharp, and impossible to put down. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 grabs attention immediately, both for its premise and its look. The story unfolds in a world under a deadly curse. Each year, an entire age group is erased from existence. It's a bleak, powerful idea that lends weight to the narrative and turns every decision into something consequential. A band of characters sets out to confront the cycle and discover how to break the fate slowly erasing the world. Combat blends traditional turn-based structure with real-time action, making every battle tense and unpredictable. The system demands timing and strategy, with each character bringing unique abilities that completely alter the tempo of fights. Button mashing won't cut it. You have to think, react, and master each enemy's rhythm. This mix of planning and reflex keeps encounters intense. The visuals are jaw-dropping. Everything carries an artistic touch, as if you were walking through a living painting. Surreal landscapes, bizarre creatures, and striking lighting effects impress in every new area. The color work, especially the cold metallic tones, gives the game a distinct identity. It's the kind of title that makes you pause just to admire the scenery. What makes Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, one of this year's standouts is how it pairs narrative and emotion. The idea of fighting time itself gives weight to every moment, and the cast seems full of personality and genuine conflict. It's a modern RPG that doesn't just want to impress, it wants you to feel the impact of every choice. Jusant turns the act of climbing into something almost hypnotic. The story is simple but meaningful. You embark on a solitary ascent of a colossal natural tower, trying to understand what happened to that mysterious world. The narrative is wordless, told through the environment, ruins, and small details you encounter along the way. That silence is what makes it so absorbing. It feels like you're uncovering a secret that belongs to you alone. Gameplay revolves around climbing, and it isn't automatic. Every movement must be deliberate. Every handhold demands care, making you truly feel the height. Rope physics, wind exposure, and surface grip create a challenging yet rewarding system. The pace is calm, but never dull. Each new wall brings a different obstacle, and learning to master them is part of the joy. Visually, it's a work of art. The vistas are breathtaking, with scenery that shifts with altitude and weather. Sometimes the sun hits the rock just right, and you stop simply to take it in. The art direction favors soft colors and a minimalist style that conveys peace even during tense moments. Every location feels designed to be contemplated, not just conquered. More than a climb, Jusant is a journey of discovery. It pushes you upward, but also invites you to pause and observe. It doesn't need combat or dialogue to hold your attention. It wins you over with the sensation of steady progress and the feeling of going higher and higher, both literally and emotionally. Metro Exodus takes the post-apocalyptic series out of the tunnels and into an open world full of danger, hope, and despair. The story follows a group of survivors searching for a new home beyond Moscow, leaving the ruins and darkness of the metro behind. But the world outside isn't what they expected. The narrative is heavy and human, showing how even hope can become a burden when everything around you seems lost. Gameplay combines the series' strengths with new possibilities. Gunplay remains tense and grounded, with weapons that need cleaning and upkeep, and scarce ammo forcing hard choices. The addition of open maps and varied regions, from deserts to frozen forests, reshapes the pacing, offering freedom without losing the oppressive tone. The sense of constant danger never fades, even under bright sunlight. The atmosphere is astonishingly well crafted. Every place feels like it has a story: an abandoned house, a ruined camp, a village overrun by mutants. Lighting, sound, and dynamic weather work together to create total immersion. And when night falls, the fear is real, not because of cheap jump scares, but because of the silence and uncertainty of what waits around the next bend. Instead of shoving you into nonstop action, Metro Exodus values quiet moments. Conversations with companions, small discoveries, and moral choices build a connection with the world and the people by your side. It understands that survival isn't only about fighting, it's also about still believing in something, even when it feels like there's no reason left. So, which of these games made you think that was worth every cent? Tell me in the comments. I want to see which one left the biggest mark on you. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe to help the channel hit 50K. Seriously, every bit of support helps us keep bringing lists and discoveries that are worth your time. And if you want to keep the vibe going, check out the other videos on the channel. There's a lot of great stuff waiting for you there. A big hug, happy gaming, and see you tomorrow.